Good morning, everyone. Welcome to freedailycoaching.com. Today is Thursday, July 10th. Super excited to be here with you this morning. We have a special guest on today. As many of you know, we're going to do an interview today. And part of what we do here on Free Daily Coaching is one day of the week, we try to bring out someone in the home-based business industry, someone in direct sales or maybe network marketing. Maybe it's a small business owner that's taken their business online that's had some pretty significant success, right? Not just Johnny down the street that sold a couple weight loss shakes, but we're talking about people that have really been able to make this home-based business their full-time job. And I'm really excited today, as you guys probably saw in my email and you saw me posting pictures this morning, to have our guest today, Mr. Mark Harbert, it's pretty exciting. I want to tell you guys, the very first time that I ever got to meet Mark live, I was at an event and we were in this huge casino, and you have to walk I don't know, it seemed like you had to walk like a quarter of a mile through the casino, past the pool, like over the Lollipop Bridge, right, to get to the convention center. And I was talking on the phone, and I literally walked around the corner, and Mark was sitting on the couch right there. And I say right there because it's like in my imagination, right? I don't even remember who I was talking to. I was like, I gotta go. Mark Harbert's right here. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And the reason that it was so exciting was because literally maybe the second time, and it may have been the very first, but I want to say it might have been the second time that I was on a webinar, just like this, but it was a bigger format. There was a lot more people. Mark was actually presenting the webinar, and he was launching this brand new product that him and Frank Marino had created, and it was called Tube Traffic Mojo. And I literally, Mark, I should have busted them out so I could show you them this morning, but I have like 9, and they're just, copy pages, printer pages, just blank pages of notes, my original notes. There's like coffee stains on them now. They're like, some of the pages are like rigid. I need to laminate them. But that was literally my introduction to how you could do any type of marketing online, and it absolutely changed my life. I mean, I would have never, this right now wouldn't be happening had I not went on that webinar. So without any further ado, and let me tell you guys, listen, I sometimes forget, I just want to tell the story, guys. That was probably, I don't know, over time, I think they've, and Mark will tell you the numbers, but thousands of people have used Tube Traffic Mojo. Mark has, personally coached, I don't know how many hundreds of people, probably maybe now thousands, and shown them how they could use the techniques that he's been using to build a business. He's been full-time for quite some time, and we're gonna ask some questions and let him tell you guys. But I don't like to just get into all the crazy, like, Mark made $17 million in 26 days, and now he drives a Porsche and he flew a jet over here from Chile. Mark is an awesome guy that has had some amazing success, and the great part is he's creating products, and he has coaching programs, and he has the outlets so that you can plug into what he's doing, and it's not like a big secret. And that's really the bottom line. To me, that's the bottom line of what's so awesome about Mark. So good morning, Mark. Thank you for coming on the Free Daily Coaching Call.
What's up, man? I appreciate you asking me, Bert. It's kind of cool when you shot me a message last week. I was like, yeah, heck yeah, I'm gonna get on there. So that's awesome.
Well, I'm just to me, I know a lot of the people that come onto the call, it's fun to see the journey in different people's businesses, because to me, like right now, I'm like, yes, I'm totally talking to Mark Harbert on the free coaching call. And I know that the people that are here are like, oh, awesome, this is going to be awesome, right? Like Mark Harbert's here. So it's like everyone is in a different, we're all walking up this, I always imagine it as like we're walking up the back stairwell of this big building. We're trying to make it to the penthouse up top. And it's like you're up on the 5th floor, and you're like, dude, just keep on coming up the stairs. We're right up here. And I'm like, okay, I'm coming, dude, wait. Hold on. And you're like, I'm not waiting, but come on.
No, it's awesome.
It's super fun. So Mark, I know that I opened up the question and answer so that everyone that's here, if you have a question for Mark, go over and put it in the Q&A, and I'll make sure that we ask that question. So I guess the starting point is what did you used to do, and when was that, and like when did this all happen, when you started working from home and became your own business owner?
Well, I actually got involved in MLM network marketing back in 2000. I've been around the industry for quite a bit. I really started coming online in 2009, and for me, it started full time when I got laid off from my job. I went in one day. I was doing my business, but I went in one day, and the recession had really hit. This was in 2009, and the recession hit in 2008, and all through 2009 I was working a corporate sales job, and my sales were dismal. And which it wasn't just me. There was 14 other sales guys, and 2 out of the entire all the sales force were on their sales plan for the year, and they had some big sales lined up for a couple years that finally came through. So mine were bad. I got let go, and it was literally from that point I remember leaving, and I was like crying on the way home. I was like, this is it. I'm done with this shit. I'm not doing it anymore. Pardon my French. I'm like, I'm done with this shit. I'm done with it. I'm tired of stressing over a job. And the ironic thing was, like, a month before that, I landed like the biggest service contract the company had ever had, but it was still, in comparison to what my overall sales goal, it was still low. But so it was kind of odd that happened, but I just kind of made that decision. I was like, I would rather work 3 times as hard for myself than I will for someone else. Like, I feel like right now, like even in my business now, I work my tail off, but not because I necessarily have to, but because I want to. I love it. I love what I do. And when you love what you do, it's not like work. It's just part of who you are and what you do, and you enjoy it, and it's fun, and you want to keep doing it. And so for me, that was when I really realized, when I wanted to be full time at this, when I wanted to be a full time business owner, was that's it, man. I'm done. I'm done putting my life in other people's hands. I'm just not doing it anymore. So.
Well, I didn't know that. I think I knew that you were a corporate salesperson, but I didn't know that part of it was that you had gotten laid off. I didn't know that part.
Yeah, I got laid off. Yeah. It was pretty crazy.
Well, hey, that's at least they did, like, at least that was like an external thing. Like, I voluntarily was like, I'm out of here. Like,
yeah.
Got a little emotional, and I was just like, peace out. Like, sometimes when you have that, and I'm sure that you can probably relate to this and I'm not sure where, but probably, like, especially when you started getting that success with the videos, but that feeling that you get when you have originally some contempt, or maybe some that not totally sold idea, right? Like, you're not feeling it totally. You're like, nah. Like, in the beginning, when you first start, you're like, I don't know if this guy's really telling me the whole deal, and you have like this contempt prior to like really trying it. Yeah. And then when you actually do it, you actually just say, okay, maybe I don't know because I haven't got the results, and maybe if I just do what the people that did the results say, maybe that will work. And then when you actually do that and you get some result, that, like, oh my God, it's like a feeling and a thought and all these things happening at once, that it's so good that for me, that's what makes it, like, easy to get up and do it every day. It makes it, like you said, like, you're like, well, listen, I don't have to do it. I want to. Yeah. So was there a point when, after you got laid off and when you first started, was there a point where there was like a breaking point when you first started doing this, where you were like, man, I have to either like throttle this up and go, or like I'm gonna have to like go back to the cube?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't really have, just because I went full time at that point didn't necessarily mean that I was having a lot of success at it. When I went full time at it, I ended up kind of doing my own little technology business. and while I was still learning how to do some things. So I was doing like some virtual assistant type work. I was building websites. I was kind of helping on an IT type side. I was making good money at it, but it was more freelance stuff, and I wasn't, it was just, it was more sporadic. And I really wanted to, create my own thing. I mean, one of the things that, I love to do is I love to coach people. I love to train people. I love to, it's like you said, I've got training programs, I've got coaching programs, I've got all these things because each one of them kind of tie into what I love to do. So I've really kind of diversified my business out, but it took me a while to get to that point. And not to say it would take that while for everybody else, but when you really tap into what you love, you're just going to keep going, even though initially you may not have a lot of success at it. I think the biggest thing that people struggle with is, like you said, when you're shouting down to the mountain or the top of the staircase, hey, come up, I'm waiting for you up here. And when you're kind of going through the junk and you're not really having a lot of success, it's very easy to throw in the towel. A lot of people, you'd be surprised, don't have the internal fortitude or the internal strength to really push through and drive until they hit that that upper echelon, where they finally get the success that they're looking for. And that's something you've got to develop. I mean, like, if there's one thing I can get across to anybody when I talk to them, is that it's very cliche, and people say, you can't quit, you can't quit, and it's very cliche, so I'm never quitting. But do you really truly believe that, and like in your gut soul, that you're never going to quit? And it's not enough just to say I'm never going to quit. It is, I'm never going to quit, and I'm going to pursue with relentlessness. See, and that's the difference. There's a huge difference between I'm not going to quit, because you can just be kind of sitting back like this. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep doing this. But you're not really taking like action, and you're more like, I'm not quitting, but you're not really doing anything either. There's a difference. It's, I'm not going to quit, and I'm just going to keep charging. I'm going to keep learning. I'm going to keep implementing. Okay, that didn't work. Great, I'm going to do this over here. Great, that didn't work. And you keep trying until you hit the sweet spot. And
Yeah.
so that's super important for people to understand.
Yeah, that's huge. And I think that it's great that you're talking about it, because it shows that no matter where you're at, no matter if you just started last week and you're just getting into this, or whether you've been plugging away for 2 years, or you've been part-time and you're building slow, or whatever the situation is, that there is a difference between, it's like the difference between like active and passive. Like, you have to be actively doing something. And I think it's cool to hear it from someone that is having success, that's created something that really is this sustainable business.
Yeah.
As long as you're participating, it's continually going. So, guys, I wanna open it up so that you guys all know, if you have a question, if you have a specific question, you guys, how I always do it off the cuff, right? So everyone thought, oh, we're having Mark Harbert, this guy's a video guy, so you guys thought I was gonna ask him about like a YouTube thing or something, or like something like that. Well, listen, the answer is this. If you want that answer, you just go get Tube Traffic Mojo, boom, you'll have all the answers, right? I mean, you can ask that kind of question, but the questions that I ask always are things that you wouldn't think that normally people aren't going to ask that kind of question, because sometimes we don't think about that we don't think about the challenges, we don't think about the whole journey, we don't think about, like, I never thought about you sitting there like creating like websites in the beginning, like, you know what I mean? I didn't know that part of the story. So I mean, I understand why people do different things, right? So that we have to provide for our family, we have to take care. So Mark, when you started creating this product,
Hmm.
Before you created the product, you had I'm guessing that you had already been implementing, like, you had been doing that, right? Like
Oh,
then
yeah.
you were like, wow, we could show people how to do this. So when that first started happening, when you kind of, and I don't know, like unlocked, right? When you unlocked that avenue for yourself and you figured out, and I hate saying figured it out, guys, because I hate saying figured it out because like we don't have to figure it out anymore because you already figured it out for us now. You know what I mean? Because you
Yeah,
did that,
gotcha.
but you did. I get it that you figured that out. Once you did that and literally started like having like woo, like what is happening, right? Was there was there things that you had to do so that transit so that you could make that transition from like just being like, hey, I'm making videos and I'm trying to do it, to all of a sudden like, oh my gosh, like I'm totally doing it. Like this is
Yeah.
like,
Well, I think, one of the breakthroughs comes when people start getting their first few leads. And then, but what happens is, I think, you know, some people start getting their first few leads and then they let off the throttle, you know? And I had always done that too. I'd get in the first few leads and I'm like, oh yeah, all right, awesome, and I kind of let off the throttle. And really what should happen is once you start getting the first few leads and it worked, that way, now is the time to push the pedal down and just go full bore. And for me at that point, that's what happened. It was like I started getting some leads, Frank started getting some leads, and it was like now it's time to push the pedal to the floor and crank it up. And that's essentially what we did. So it went from, 3 to 5 leads a day to, 10, 15 leads a day to 20 to 30, 40, 50. And then it was 70, 80, upwards of 90, 120 leads a day, and so it was just like pushing the throttle down and just doing it. The problem is most people, like, after like the first few, they let off, and then it's like, well, I'm not getting any more leads. Well, yeah, it's because you stopped. You stopped doing. I've actually saw people, they start getting traction, and it's like, yes, it's starting to kick in for them. It's like, dude, and they let off the throttle and they disappear, and it's like, dude, you were cranking it. And so that's the biggest thing is like, it's just a matter of like understanding and having expectations that if you're doing the right thing, like in that course, Tube Traffic Mojo, I mean, it's laid out. It's laid out, I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And there's little technical things in that course that change, but those are minimal. The
yeah,
whole process is still the same. The whole process is the same. Maybe YouTube changes the way how you set up a new account. So okay,
right,
the whole process is still the same. The basic premise of what we talk about in that course is exactly the same. And so, but what happens is people get hung up on little technical details, stuff that doesn't matter, stuff that's really not important, and that holds them back. And it's just like focus on really 3 things. I would narrow it down to 3 things. It's uh, prospecting, active prospecting, connecting with people, finding out where you can help them, creating content online, videos, blog posts, connecting with your list as you generate leads, and webinars. I mean, I think those are the 3 biggest ways that will make you money online if you do it and do it consistently. Problem is most people don't do it consistently. They
absolutely.
don't. Content is, you should be creating content on a regular basis. You know, and think of it as like fish hooks. I have leads coming in every day that I don't even know where they're coming from because I didn't track them.
Uh,
And like I just while we're sitting here, I saw one come in. I still like to get the emails when I get leads, you know, and I don't even know where it came from because I didn't put a tracker on it. So anyway.
no, I have one of those, and I thought I found it and fixed it. And the other day, a lead came in, and I was like, "Where is that?" I literally have some social media insanity link somewhere, and I
Yeah.
don't know where it's at. I've checked every single like possible place of real estate that I think exists, and I can't
Can't
find
find
it.
it.
I can't find it. I don't know. And the other day I got I literally got a lead from a custom funnel that existed on my blog like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist anymore. It even goes to the name of it is Gold Funnel. I'm like, listen, that I don't even that page doesn't even exist. So somewhere
Yeah.
there's a link or something, you know. So well, we had a few questions. We have a few more minutes, guys, till we get to the top of the hour. So we have, it looks like two different people wrote kind of the same question. So
Hmm.
I'll read both of them. I think they're essentially the same. It says, what vision drove/drives you? And then the other one is, and so I think they'll tie together. What do you do to motivate yourself on days you don't want to do anything?
Right. Well, I have to tell you, like, I am extremely hell-bent on helping people. Like, I'm just hell-bent on it. Like, um, my goal is to, and this is why, like, this isn't a promotion or anything. I'm just like, one of the things that I've instituted in my business because I found personally that um, I needed to get in more and help people like on a one-on-one basis. And so I started doing coaching because I wanted to fulfill that need I had in myself as well to get in and really help people. Because I can drive traffic and I can get leads. I think I've generated over like 30,000 leads now, online, something like that. But what motivates me is my genuine desire to see other people have breakthroughs. Like for me, that's freaking exciting. I mean, I remember this last November at Live the Dream in San Diego. I had a woman come up to me after I spoke on stage, and she came up to me and she had literally tears in her eyes, and like she was, like really just crying, and I'm like, oh my God. And she thanked me because what I shared, and it really touched her, and I'm like, wow, man, it's so freaking powerful, and I'm like, to see that you can have that kind of an effect on somebody was like freaking amazing, and I'm like, you just never know who you're going to touch, so I'm like really hell-bent on seeing who it is that I can impact in what way. So that really for me is like my vision and my drive. That's why I create products, because I mean, Tube Traffic Mojo was massively successful. I think we've sold like 1,100 units of that or something like that. Over the last year and a half, and which that's a lot. That's a huge
Yeah.
amount. And the amount of people that have come up to me and said, I went through your course, it was amazing. I get leads now because of it. We've got huge success stories of people that went through our course, and it changed their lives. People that are now making 5 figures a month because of what we shared in that course. And so it's a big deal, and when you really latch onto that and you start seeing the change that you started. It's not that I'm responsible for them. They put in the action and the work, but you got the seed going, and I'm just hell-bent on creating tons of seeds that are eventually going to take off in a lot of people, and that's what wakes me up in the morning. I get jazzed about that.
That's awesome. You almost made me cry when you started talking about the lady crying to thank you, and the reason was, everyone here on the call, by now most of them know that I did that 100-day challenge in that first live 100-day challenge in My Lead System Pro, and I always talk about that because that was like this big catalyst for me to be able to do things. But what people don't know, or the part of the story that I guess I haven't told very much, that the story, some other people know the story, is that literally that first or second webinar for me was Tube Traffic Mojo. So before the 100-day challenge had even started, I
Yeah.
was already making videos. This is the deal, guys. In the 100-day challenge, when we got partnered up to do an assignment, the reason that Patricia and I started working together was because she'd already figured out how to do blogging. Well, by that time, I had already done Tube Traffic Mojo, and I was like, and hey guys, I just want you guys to know this is fun. Mark is teaching this right now. Okay, I've seen a bunch of people posting. This is what they taught me. I don't know if they were supposed to teach me this back then, but this is what I learned. They taught me how I could literally go onto YouTube and rank a video like boom, like 15 minutes a day, like
Yeah.
boom. I was at the top of YouTube. Guys, it didn't matter if I had 27,000 videos. I could just show people, look what I just did right now. And people were like, how did you do that? And
Yeah.
all I did was say, I did this course. That's it.
Yeah.
And then from there, I literally just did what Mark did and shared it with other people. That was all I did.
Yeah.
So all I did was what you guys told me to do, and then I pointed people back. And dude, whether you realize it or not, that Tube Traffic Mojo is like the original. Like, I mean, if you go back to the original, it's like Rob Ford plastering his face all over Google, right? Because that's how I found out about you guys.
Yeah.
So, man, thank you so much. Like, hey, guys, if you're watching this and you don't have Tube Traffic Mojo yet, you should go get it, right? And if you're not on Mark's email list, if you're not plugged into what Mark's doing, you need to go over there and get plugged in, right? I snuck into a little webinar that Mark had last night, and you know, this is a real guy. This is a real person, guys. If you can't tell by now that Mark's a real person, I mean, look, he didn't even do hair gel this morning, right? I didn't do hair gel. Mark's got no hair gel. Like, he's just a real guy. You can tell when he's talking.
Look, man, I'm barefooted.
Hey, no, that's hilarious, because guess what? I am too.
I work at home in shorts and a shirt and barefoot. You know, I didn't even put a polo on this morning. I usually t-shirt in the free call. But guys, I want you to know that this is the reality. The reality of the situation is this. It's really about what do you want to do, right? What do you want to do? If you really want to do something different, if you want to make something new, it's totally available. Like 100%. Like, Mark is proof of it. I'm proof that what Mark did worked. I'm proof. Mark's already proof because he's like, hey, look, I did it. But just in case you didn't believe him because he said I did it, I'm saying, hey, listen, what he did works because I did it and it's working. I still do it. That's the crazy part, guys, is I'm still doing what they already taught me how to do, right? What he taught me how to do, I'm doing it. Every day we do it right here, free daily coaching, right? When they say go do a video, go make more content. Every day we do it. One last question, Mark, if I can get you for like 2 more seconds. Yep. It says, and this one is probably like more personal opinion, but it says, this is a technical question. I'm looking to change my computer from PC to Mac in the fall. That's a good, I like that. Mm-hmm. Is there a benefit to having Camtasia, or is iMovie sufficient? Yeah, I mean, if you're on a Mac, actually, if you get a Mac, does she say she's moving from PC to Mac?
Yeah, PC to Mac.
Yeah, personally, what I recommend is buy ScreenFlow. I mean, iMovie is fine. You can use iMovie. I've used it before. I personally like ScreenFlow for Mac. It is way easier. I like the flexibility of it. That's what I use to edit my videos. It's $99 one time. You know, so I personally, if you get a Mac, get ScreenFlow. I think it's way better. That's my thing.
All right, there you go. All right, guys, listen. What? I missed a cool. What? Oh yeah, that was it. It was on the down low, kinda. It was like a low key. It wasn't like a big hyped up webinar. That's why, Felicia. If you have to go, Mark, can we put in the chat like how for them to get on your email list, or for how people can connect you? I mean, obviously they can
just go to my blog, markharbert.com.
markharbert.com, guys. I'll type it over in the chat for you guys. Just go, like, I'm going to tell you something about Mark's email list that I love, and this is how you can know that I actually read Mark's emails, because Mark doesn't dick around. Excuse my language, but Mark doesn't dick around with these like 87 like every day is not like a novella. You know what I mean? I'm not picking up a Louis L'Amour book every time I read Mark's thing. Mark's like, yo, you want to check this out? I made you a video. Boom. Right? Hey, you want to see this? Go to my blog. Bam. And then you go over there. So when you get the email, you're not like, oh my gosh, like, come on. I love that part about like, it's just like, it tells me what to do. I go and watch it. I go and read, and I'm good.
Yeah,
So I
because I don't read those big ass long emails either. I sometimes I get long winded in my emails. I'm like, I hope this isn't too long, But occasionally, like for the most part, I try to get very quick, straight to the point, make it impactful, and have people go look at it. Because I mean, the reality of it is our attention spans are not very big, especially online. So the simpler you can make it, the better.
absolutely. Well, guys, I'm super excited that we got to sit here for a half an hour. We got to kind of hear a little bit more about Mark's story, how he started out, and really we got to, what I found interesting is we got to see how Mark thinks, right? And not just how he thinks, but really that you can tell that Mark really is working from a heart of service, and you can tell he's like this servant leadership, right? That he got he got into his passion, and his passion was to help other people to achieve success, to be able to see other people out there succeeding. And guess what? Those people are you. You're one of those people, right? You have the ability to be able to reach out and tap into all of the experience, all of the trials and tribulations, all of those hurdles. Of course, we're going to have our own challenges, but you get to benefit from Mark's experience when you tap into what he's doing. I mean, it's just that simple, guys. It's like we have this huge buffet on the internet of all these things. And right now, what we did was we just came right to your table and we brought you something and said, hey, this is something really special. We know there's a buffet out there. We know there's all that stuff. That's all great. It's all good. Super good stuff. But right here, you have something that is literally, this is like a delicacy. This is like the bomb diggity plate, right? Like this is like the super, like this is like the swirly ice cream at the end. Because not everywhere has a swirly. Sometimes just chocolate and vanilla, right? Or this is like getting that creme brulee that you wanted. And that's really how I feel about Mark, right? Like I really feel like, hey, if you really want to tap into someone, this is a guy that you can go and tap into the things that he's doing. You can, I mean, he's got all kinds of ways for you guys to plug in on his email list. He does different coaching sessions, right? There's that he has scheduled throughout the year. He has products that you can tap into. You can go and subscribe to his YouTube channel. I mean, there's 100 different ways. And I literally, I encourage you to go do it. When I reached out to Mark the other day, literally said, hey, I'm trying to turn over a new leaf. I'm doing something new in my business, and I would like to connect with you more, right? Because what I see in Mark is something that's really attractive, right? Because what he does, that's what I want to do. I just want to help other people, right? I just want to help other people and show them, like, listen, don't make it so hard. Just follow the instructions, and boo, it can happen.
And just so you know, Bert, I mean, my whole goal has been to be very attractive to you,
Well, I know. I was waiting. I was like, man, I thought he was going to wear some kind of like bathing suit or something. You're like, dang it. But you know, it's a peculiar thing. It's a peculiar thing how the journey works, and how over time, like this, it's like a circle, but not a circle. It's like one of those like a slinky, like it, like a pigtail, like where it's like a curly Q or something. And it's really it's been fun for me to be able to like learn from you and then watch, and I'm like, wow, what's he doing? Like, now what are they doing? Now what's he doing? Oh, now he's doing this. And when I first met Mark, guys, and I mean like online, and in an internet platform, you were always more like reserved. You weren't like always out there. You weren't like you were kind of like you always reminded me of like the business guy. Like you were like, hello, I'm Mark, and I'm going to show you this stuff. And then over time, and maybe it was just me, maybe it was my perception, but over time I was like, wow, Mark is like this is, you're like that guy that's like super, like, all this stuff, but you're like that guy that's like, wow, Mark is like a regular guy. Like you could just call Mark and be like, I mean, not just like anyone can call you, but you know what I mean? Like you could call Mark, and when you're talking to you on the phone, it wouldn't be like, oh, like you're like, oh my gosh, this guy's gonna floor me. Like, like it would be like I was talking to like my buddy that lived down the street. Like, hey man, what's up? Like, hey man, what do you need? Like, how can I help you? And I just and maybe that was my perception. You know, maybe
Yeah.
as you stay in the mix for long enough, you get to start to see it in a different way. But I know
Yeah.
one thing for sure. You've made a huge impact in what I'm doing, and
Appreciate
I'm
that.
excited to be able to work with you more. I'm super privileged that you came on the free daily coaching call, and I want to tell everyone, I'll shoot you guys over there in just a second. I want to say thanks again, Mark, for coming out,
My
and
pleasure, man. Thanks for having me, Bert. I really appreciate it.
yeah, man. And now
We'll have
we
to do
can.
this more.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a like I do it. It's ongoing. So, and we have
Yeah.
different during different times of the year. We do different fun stuff. We do Friday fiestas, so you can always wear your sombrero, and
There
bring
you
nachos. Um, what else? That's it, man. We would love to have you back out, especially if you're going to be doing some masterminds or some coaching, and you're doing some things like that. Absolutely, we'd love to have you come out and be able to share with everyone so that they have that opportunity to plug in with you as well.
Cool. Awesome, man. Love it. Thanks, Bert.
Yeah,
It's a
man.
great privilege, man, and keep doing what you're doing, man. You're doing a great job.
Hey, thanks, buddy. Hey, everyone, I'm going to shoot you guys over to Mark's website. So go ahead and plug into Mark and go out and have a kick butt day, right? Go out and rock this, and tag Mark. Thanks for being on the call, and go literally go onto his website. Don't just sign up for his email. Go check out some of his content. Go check out some of the videos. Like him, comment. Start to interact with him as a person, and you'll see amazing things will change. I literally got a Facebook message. This is my last little one. I got a Facebook message about a week ago that someone sent me, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, I just got off the phone with Mark Harbert." And there was like, and then they sent me like a Frozen sticker or something. It was like, rah, right? Like, that's the fun, guys. When you get to start working with people, connect with people, and you get to see that like their people's eyes light up and the smiles and the actual like people moving forward. That's really what it's all about. So thank you, Mark, so much. Everyone, go out and have an awesome day, and we'll see you tomorrow at freedailycoaching.com.
You rock. Thanks, Bert. Thanks, everybody, for having me out. You guys are awesome.